In this video, we're going to talk about something horrific rising, and only Gunslinger Spawn can stop it. Alrighty then, this is the Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger, issue number 9, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. Previously in the Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger and Zayana add a third to their group, so the new gunman should come in handy. So we begin with this monologue with this house at night just next to a mine. This monologue is about this creature that's what's horrific is about to rise. He didn't ask to be brought into this world. All he ever wanted was to belong, to be loved, to have a chance at a normal life. And he was just a child, but something had ruined him from the inside. So inside the house, we see this little girl sleeping with her teddy bear. She wakes up looking for her daddy. That's exactly what my daughter does at night too. I adore it. But she drops the teddy bear, she gets the teddy bear, and she tells the teddy bear, "Don't worry, I got you." But these eyes, these eerie, evil eyes from under her bed go open, and they get ready to do the damn thing. But her parents in the other room hear Becky scream, that's the name of the little girl, and they rush to save her. But when they get to her room, the damage has already been done. The constant darkness, inadequate guidance, and insufficient nutrition had a lasting effect on the creature that took their little girl. So the mother asks, "What is that?" And the husband doesn't know, but it's got our little girl, and he's gonna go down and take care of business. But when he lands, there's another smoke, and this cave gets blocked, and he calls for Becky, crying for Becky, begging, and you can see desperation with the blood in his fingernails. But you know what? It wasn't his fault, but now he was going to make sure everyone felt his pain, because in the end, misery loves company. So in this panel right here, Gunslinger Spawn is in jail with Zayana and these two other guys. One of them is Billy Brewster, and the other one is talking to another guy. And even though when Gunslinger Spawn and Zayana did the thing to the Brewster brothers, well, that's their stepbrother in jail. So despite the conversation behind him, the Gunslinger mind had wandered elsewhere, lost in haunting memories of a time before the Hellspawn curse consumed his life. A time when life was simple and the world felt less foreboding. So now this guy goes up to Gunslinger and tells him, "Hey, your people better step back because Sheriff Behan wants to talk to you." But Gunslinger is looking around the room to find a place to escape at a moment's notice. But this guy, Sheriff Behan, tells Gunslinger Spawn to remove his hat, deputy, because we got a conversation. And deputy's like, "I can't. I tried. It just won't come off." And when he tries to remove it, it just won't budge. So Sheriff Behan kindly and respectfully asks Gunslinger, "Well, can you please remove your hat so we can speak?" And Gunslinger has some class, so he does so. So the sheriff tells him, "I spoke to a few folks that bore witness to what you and your Indian friend did, and you guys were indeed attacked by those men, and I don't condone murder, but the Brewster boys have been nothing but trouble since they moved into this town. I spoke to the mayor, and it was decided no charge will be brought against the three of you. That's the good news." And Gunslinger's like, "Yeah, I know, but what is the bad news? Because you gotta tell me." "Well, that young man you sharing the cell with is the only remaining Brewster. Dynamite is a good kid, so I like to keep him safe from his abusive brothers. He doesn't know about them or what they went on yet." And Gunslinger's like, "Oh, if he doesn't know, I could tell him myself." "Appreciate that," says the Sheriff Behan, "but there's a second problem. The barn with some horses, and some of the horses weren't the property of the Brewsters. They were owned by an established family in the community." And Gunslinger Spawn's like, "Okay, so what about them?" "Well, they like to be reimbursed for their loss." And Gunslinger Spawn's like, "How much?" Arms folded like, damn well I'm not going to pay for that. And the sheriff knows that because he tells him nowhere close to what you can afford. So where does that leave us? "Well, you haven't been in this town long enough to notice, but this town of Danzig is severely lacking any young folk. There's a reason, just like the little girl in the beginning of the issue. And I'm hoping someone like you can help us out." And all Gunslinger can do is that so he sits back and he listens, and as the sun dipped below the horizon, Gunslinger attentively listens as the sheriff recounted the events of the last few months. It was a tangled tale of abduction, missing persons, and murder that shadowed the town of Danzig. And Gunslinger has no real choice but to accept the arrangement. And so they have a deal, they shake on it, they're gonna look for the kid. But first things first, they're gonna get something to eat. But Brewster was like, "Hey, thank you for much for getting me out of jail. Mighty glad to be breathing again." And Gunslinger Spawn, a man of his word, tells him what happened to his stepbrothers. "Your stepbrothers are dead, thought you should know." And he asked, "Well, how did they die?" "They did some bad things and we killed them. What else you want to know?" So nothing else, all right? He just wanted to know how bad we talking, and Gunslinger Spawn told him it was very bad, and let's keep it moving. So for a few hours, the gunslinger shifted his focus away from his troubles. Laughter and stories of old filled the air, providing a rare respite. But like the meal itself, it came to an abrupt end when Patrick Willett and his wife from the beginning of the issue told Gunslinger, hey, we want to talk to you. And he's like, I know the deal. Let's talk outside, all right? Because I damaged your stuff. Let's help each other out. So they fill him in about their missing daughter, and they want them to be staying up in their place, all right? So they do that. And Zayana asks, am I going to have my own room? And Gunslinger's like, Sheriff said they were going to put us up until we get the little girl back. But before they go to the house, Gunslinger Spawn and Zayana see someone approaching. And they're like, you shot and killed my brother-in-law last night in front of that barn. And Gunslinger Spawn's like, stop. Are you part of the Brewster gang? No, sir, but my brother-in-law was. I have no quarrel with you, says Gunslinger, but, you know, I did your sister a favor. Now turn around and go back home. They hold Gunslinger Spawn at gunpoint, and he warns him, like, your life is not worth this. But the other guy takes his gun out too, and Gunslinger Spawn's like, you are really having me do some things I really don't want to do right now. I just got out of jail. I'm gonna blast you guys, take you to the doctor. The doctor's like, sit him down. And Gunslinger Spawn tells him, so if you two want to save face with your sister to get revenge, tell her I put up a fight and I got lucky in the end, but you cut me up good. That worked for you? And these boys are like, heck no, she ain't gonna believe that. She'll know we were lying. Gunslinger Spawn lifts up his symbiote mask and tells him, trust me, she won't. Take a look, both of you. See to it that our paths never cross again, alright? Now get out of my face. So they go to the room, and the guy tells them, hey, savages are not welcome here. And Gunslinger Spawn puts him at gunpoint like, okay, then welcome her. Okay, I'm gonna give her the keys. So Zayana is like, I was thinking about the silver mine we passed coming into town. And Gunslinger's like, yeah, what about it? The sheriff said it was abandoned, not worth restoration, and earthquakes have collapsed entire sections of it, so what about it? He also said plenty of folks and hired guns have gone into those mines to find the children, including himself. Many were never heard from again. So she undresses herself, and I don't know if I can even show all that, but it looks good. So she undresses herself and tells Gunslinger, so many young ones taken by something white men refuse to understand. They destroy the land thinking they can conquer it, but the land always remembers. If they were smart, they'll move by now. They'll move somewhere else because now this land carries a heavy curse. I felt it the moment we entered this town. I will call upon the spirits to guide that little girl and all the other children back to safety. So Gunslinger Spawn is hearing the story and feeling bad about it because of how they met each other in recent issues that were explained in this comic book. So Gunslinger tells her, Zayana, you believe that will actually help? She's like, my gods dwell in the sky watching over us. Before you took him from me, my grandfather taught me their ways. Here, she throws the bottle, and Gunslinger's feeling like crap right now and tells her, look, I said I'm sorry, but I promise to go after Lane soon after this business is done, because Lane was the one that ordered the hit on the family. Gunslinger Spawn was just had to be a part of it, but didn't really do anything, you know? And she's like, I don't care about that right now. Getting that child back is more important right now. Lane can wait. So Gunslinger gives a silent nod, conceding her to take on things, then hits the bottle hard, chasing oblivion, hoping the nightmares don't follow. He wants to get drunk. But as dawn broke the following day, the group gathered at the Wheeler home to figure out their next move. And their plan is to light up a dynamite but it's not going to blow up the house. They just want to get the ground going. And it's this little funny moment where they go outside, the dynamite blows up, literally, and kind of tiny. And they're like, well, that's it? We want a more explosion, but they want to get back inside the house and go down the hole. Zayana waits up there. Gunslinger Spawn tells the kid, good job, they got a clean path, and it smells like sulfur. But I think one of the Brewster kids is like, there's miles of abandoned caves down here and some creature must be doing some of this. And Gunslinger's like, I'm open to believing anything. So they feel some kind of rumbling below. A low rumble grows as the very ground beneath them begins to crumble, collapsing into the darkness below. So they run, and they barely outrun the crumbling earth at their heels. So they reach a dead end. Gunslinger Spawn realizes, I only got one shot at this, hurls his rope to this edge, and that is the end of this issue, because that is the end of this issue. We won't know what happens to the next issue. But what you guys think of this comic book? Comment below, let me know. And also link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print rated comic exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With all that being said, thank you again for watching. Until the next upload.